everybody, to another episode of Texas Platinum. The three-headed monster, which is Matt Myers, Matt Madrid, and Trevor Stiff, are back. Us three, just like the three-headed monster that is the Texas Longhorn running back room. Matt Madrid, how are you doing? It's nice to have you back in the fold.
Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it, man? I'm doing pretty well. Finished up my undergrad, studied for the LSAT, got that out of the way, and now I got a year ahead of me to sit down on the couch and watch football. So I'm back. I'm ready to do this. It's good.
All right. Well, let's hop right into it. First thing, before we hop into it, reminder to please subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of views on our last video, which is very exciting to see with us kind of coming back into the fold. So please share with a friend, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Really helps our channel grow and helps us deliver better content to you down the road. And then next off, just a reminder that we do this show a little bit long format. That might be a bit of a turnoff for some of y'all, but we like to kind of format it like a podcast. So we're going to be covering different topics throughout the show, but there are timestamps in the description below, so go look there. For instance, if you just want to see us talk about Texas Tech, go down in the description. You'll see the timestamp for it. Either click on it if you're watching a computer, or just drag your cursor over and be able to get to that part of the podcast. Otherwise, sit back, watch us talk for the rest of the episode. First off, we're going to hop into some college football news. And Matt Myers, how about you lead us off with some of our topics for that?
Yeah, so it's going to be finally feel like a real weekend in college football with the SEC coming back.
No more crap games.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
last week was horrible.
Yeah, the Big 12 definitely let us down. So, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these good SEC matchups. Florida, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Auburn, Hail State, LSU are just like three of the big ones. And just to get some variety, man. It's getting old watching just the Big 12 and pretty much Clemson and the ACC and a lot of Miami. But yeah, it's exciting to see like the big brands, a lot of top 10 teams playing this weekend. So I'm feeling like Saturday is going to feel like a real college football day. I mean, last Saturday felt pretty real, and the one before did too. But I feel like this coming Saturday will feel about as real as it can be in 2020.
Definitely. And we haven't talked about it yet, but Big Ten is back. They're going to be starting up mid-October, I believe. Correct?
Yeah.
Mid-October. So that'll be exciting. They got 9-game schedule, 8-game schedule set up, all playing in conference with no bye weeks, I believe.
Damn.
So it'll be an interesting roll of the dice as they desperately try to claw back into the swing of things. Apparently Ohio State's got a pretty easy schedule ahead out of all the other ones. They don't play, I know for sure they don't play Minnesota, and then I think they also don't play Penn State, unless I got that wrong. So
they play Penn State, but their cross division is like Nebraska and some other bum. So
there's some other big team that they don't play. I know it's Minnesota and one other.
They don't play Wisconsin, so
that's who it is.
They missed the two tough guys in the East. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely catering to Ohio State. That's obviously their best.
They really punish Nebraska like that?
Yeah. Well, Nebraska's supposed to be back.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see about that. But yeah, so some good matchups ahead. SEC is definitely going to be exciting to see them playing with them all in conference. Really just all these in-conference games are going to be much more exciting than these teams playing cupcake teams, even though the Cupcakes have really been kind of dominating, especially on the Big 12 end, us having a very lousy showing to the party. We'll touch on that briefly. I mean, losses by Iowa State, which looked bad. Kansas State looked bad. Obviously, Kansas lost like they always do to who did they play again? They lost to them the previous year, too.
Was it Ohio's?
Coastal Carolina. That's what it was. Yeah, I mean, they're like basically paying them to whoop their ass every year, which is pretty funny at this point that keeps happening. And then, of course, some embarrassing close games by Oklahoma State. I watched that game last weekend, and that was very hard to watch. I'm surprised I watched the entire game. Very sloppy. I mean, Tulsa looked really bad too. So the fact that they were in the game was kind of embarrassing. Chuba Hubbard couldn't get anything going. Spencer Sanders got hurt. So that'll be an interesting development to see what happens with them. Apparently, there were like 2 college game day guys that both picked Oklahoma State to be in the playoff. One of them, I think it was Desmond Howard, had them in the championship game. So we'll see what happens. But I kind of doubt that they're going to be as dominant as everyone thought they were going to be. And then the team that we're going to be talking about today, Texas Tech, almost lost to Houston Baptist. Myers, didn't you say that your brother went there?
Yeah, he was a charter member of the Houston Baptist football team. He was on their first team 2013, and they were horrible. But now they're
much improved, apparently.
Yeah, for sure. Good quarterback.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to talk about them a little bit when we touch on reviewing Texas Tech and what they bring to the table. But then outside of that kind of wraps it up for the college football news. I mean, I guess Derek King played very well. The Miami Louisville
comeback candidate.
Kind of the primetime game of last weekend. Louisville really, I don't think looked that great, but it was nice to see Miami moving the ball around. And I mean, King looked great.
College football is fun when Miami's good.
Yeah. It's exciting to finally see them with an offense, that can move the ball. I feel like that's kind of been a struggle with them for the longest time, much like us for a while. So yeah, something to look out for. Look out for Miami again. But with all that said, that kind of wraps up our college football news part of the episode. Let's talk about UTEP because we have to. So, Matt Madrid, talk about the UTEP game. What did you like? What did you see? What stood out to you?
What stood out to me was how deep we were going in our receivers. Personally, also it was really good to see Joshua Moore ball out like he did. It's good to see him out there again. But yeah, at least on the offense, I felt like we were very, very deep. There's a lot of good playmakers out there. Shout out my boy Marcus Washington. Got on the board.
Shout him out.
Let's go. Yeah, I would just really like the way our offense is set up and the amount of. I was a little worried going into this season about the fresh faces on the playmaking side of the ball, but I feel a lot better now seeing them produce so well. Granted, against UTEP, but hey, it was a good showing regardless. On the defensive side of the ball, it's a new look. It was weird seeing 4 down linemen, but I liked it a lot. It was weird seeing Osai on the edge, but he looked really good. So yeah, other than that, a little concerned about what our secondary looks like, but I think that'll work itself out. Mainly talking about like BJ Foster and everything he's got going on, but yeah, I'm more cautious about the defense, but it's a optimistic cautious if that makes sense.
Yeah, Myers, how about you touch on UTEP for a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I liked what I saw from the offense from just the play calls with Mike Yursich at the helm. A lot of drag routes finally just over the middle, letting our athletes just get one-on-one and then daring UTEP defensive backs to run with our guys. And they're going to lose most of those battles, and we saw that with on the first play. So I'm glad that we're seeing Mike Yursich really just making an effort to set plays up and get our athletes one-on-ones, and Sam Ellinger, of course, is able to get them the ball. So I love what I saw from our offense. I want to see our O-line improving the run game for sure. But, I mean, 4 yards a carry? That's not bad, but definitely want to see that go up in the future. I mean, that's UTEP, so I was hoping they could get 6 yards a carry. But just the right side of the line needs to definitely grow up a little bit with Christian Jones and Okafor. I know they've been in the program, but they still haven't played that much recently. So those guys definitely need to step up a little bit. But, yeah, offense looked great. Defense, Josh Thompson looked like a Thorpe candidate.
Yeah.
I don't know what got into him, uh, but I'm hoping that
showed out.
he'll be cleared for Tech with that ear cut laceration he had.
I believe he is cleared. He's set to start, so he should be all good to go for that.
Okay, perfect. Good, yeah. So, I mean, he looked great. Stearns looked healthy, and you can just tell when Stearns is healthy, the whole defense, the whole secondary looks different.
Yeah, definitely.
So, it's just good seeing them all healthy. I mean, the one thing that I was not really that happy with was the pass rush, but, I mean, their quarterback was good. He was getting that ball out immediately, and, I mean, you can only do so much when the quarterback's just slinging it as soon as he catches the ball. We had like 2 sacks. Alfred Collins definitely showed out as a freshman, but definitely want to see more pass rush up against Texas Tech in the future.
Yeah. And I mean, and your guy, Jomo, also, I believe, maybe he got a sack, or I know he was by the quarterback a lot, though. Like, he was popping off.
Yeah, he had a one hurry, then he had like a sack, but he grabbed the face mask, so it got.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, really athletic play. He looks good. Our whole D line looks great. It's kind of incredible, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. To me, kind of what stood out was, well, one, Sam balled out. It was very exciting to see him. You could tell that he's healthy now.
Yeah.
And I think that his throwing's improved. Like, he threw some darts, man. Really were popping off. That coupled with Yursic's offense, they're spreading the ball around a lot more. And I don't know if I'm excited about that or if that's something to be concerned about, but I wouldn't say so. It may be a strength of this team. It just looks very different in that everything is by committee. Wide receiver by committee, running back by committee with this coaches. At this point, at least in the season, we'll see as the season evolves, but it sounds like everyone's going to get kind of equal touches. Running back starters, like Roshan started the first game of the season. I know that Ingram's apparently starting this Tech game. So rotations and depth charts are constantly changing. Big thing that stood out was Eagles not starting his first game, or the Tech game for that matter. He's still behind Black. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens with him. I mean, Black definitely looked really good. I was very impressed with him. The fumble was a bit of a disappointment there, but outside of that, he looked very good. Loved his run after the catch, playmaking ability. Schooler
he just
as well.
Like a veteran out there, just like the older guy. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, Schooler was fun. But yeah, it's interesting to see a team by committee. Like I said originally, I don't know if I'm a massive fan of that, but then at the same time, that definitely has its positives as well, being that a defense can't target, one particular person if everybody's getting the share of the ball. And then, of course, we got to give a shout out to our man, Mr. Kai Money Grid. Apparently, you know the dude, or you played against him?
Okay, hold on. I don't know the dude, but I was within,
the legend.
I was within like 30 feet of him at one time. But the story is, Myers is there, because we all played football and whatnot.
Right. We played the game.
So
all you haters out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Never played it down on our life? Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So when I was on the sideline, we played St. Brownsville, and that we went to Central Catholic. We played St. Joseph's Brownsville, and he was the quarterback. And shout out Taps. I don't know, were we 5A, 4A? I thought we went down a division.
Tap 6A.
It was 6A? All right, Tap 6A. Yeah, private school swag. But yeah, we played them. It was a homecoming game. Probably shouldn't have been a homecoming game because it went down to the wire, and it was a Hail Mary for the win. It was crazy, but yeah, we got it done.
Wait, y'all won on a Hail Mary?
Yeah, we won on a Hail Mary, and probably a bogus onside kick, but we won it anyways. That's home field advantage right there. But that's my Kai Money story. He was a hell of an athlete, and he still is. Obviously, he's on Texas football.
What was he like as a quarterback? Was he like a run first guy?
Yeah, it was a run first guy. He wasn't passing that much. He's just an athlete. just a good athlete. I mean, good enough, better than most people in TAP's 6A, but he's there at Texas football now, so it's pretty cool to see that. And I guess I'm rooting for the guy now, but yeah.
Yeah, we played him as he was a freshman, and I remember all week they were like, "We got this freshman quarterback. We got to watch him on film." They're like, "He's Manziel. He learns like Manziel, and he was a good passer too. He just didn't need to pass. He just better off running."
Yeah.
And they were the better team. We definitely stole that game down the stretch. Our coach like fought the ref to make sure we got that onside kick call, and then the next play we chunked a Hail Mary to win district. So yeah, it was that was definitely one of the most memorable games, and Kai Money was definitely just lighting us up all night.
Yeah.
Also,
and
just the name Kai Money.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, is that his real name?
You're like, hey, you're playing Kai Money, and then like Prestonwood also had a side thing. Prestonwood also had the guy named, what was his name? Ryan Cash.
Yeah.
Money to cash.
We're back. Yeah.
So yeah, we just run into these fools.
Man. I mean, that's like a name that's like a rapper name. That's like a name you make up. Kai Money.
Yeah, these guys aren't real people. But good for him. Catching a touchdown pass.
Yeah. And a few other passes too.
Yeah,
like he was showing up.
Yeah.
You can play, so it'll be interesting to see him maybe match up in some of these other games, but probably not as notably.
Mm-hmm.
Any other things about UTEP?
I just want to touch on real quick that I'm very happy to see that Sam only rushed the ball like 3 times, and like the majority of his performance was just his arm. So like this season is like, although it should have been proven a long time ago, but it's like for sure this season will prove to other people like he is a good passer. Like he's a good passer. So I want that narrative destroyed after the season for sure. And it's well on its way with only 3 rushes and the rest of the 400 yards. It was all through there. That's great news for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was passing very well, I thought. There were a few balls that he threw that I'm like he missed a few targets. Most notably, I guess one thing we should touch on, Whittington got hurt. And it was on a play where he was open in the end zone. Sam slightly underthrows it, so Whittington has to dive in the end zone. Doesn't make the catch because it was a little too low. And now he's out for, I believe, 3 to 4 weeks. So hopefully we'll show up to the OU game. Maybe not even that, and we'll sit out for that and then come back on that bye week, work his way back into the fold at that point. Not good that this guy keeps getting hurt. That's very concerning to me. But he is a tough-looking dude and obviously looked very good. At least we got a lot of depth. Jake Smith is planning to be back for this game.
Yeah, we didn't even see him.
So, he should be back for Tech. Hopefully he's good and healthy and they're not rushing him back too much now with Whittington out. But it'll be funny if, like, our slot receiver position turns out to be, like, the weak link
I know, right?
on this team when we've been hyping that position up all off season. So, yeah. Myers, any thoughts on Whittington?
Yeah, it sucks that he's injured. Hopefully doesn't continue down this trend. But I mean, just another thought in the receiver room. Brennan Eagles and Sam Ellinger definitely need to get their chemistry fixed. Most of those bad balls were Eagles and him miscommunicating and just not knowing the right play. And I would assume it was Eagles' fault. I mean, just based on the body language and everything. But they just definitely need to get in a better page because we're going to need Eagles to contribute with just – I mean, our receiver room is, like, deceptive. It's, like, deep, but it's not. Like, I feel like it's deep, but I also feel like it's not deep at the same time. It's weird to explain. I mean, when you see, like, say Jake Smith misses this game because of hamstring lingers and Whittington's still out, then we're kind of we're filling holes. We have to move Bijan out to the slot for a few plays and get him some passes on the edge. But I just want to see Brennan Eagles definitely just improve. I mean, he's been hyped up for a while now. He's got all the potential in the world, but he's got to put it together. Like now, he's a junior, so he's got to go make it happen.
Definitely. And then I was going to touch on one more thing. I'm blanking on what it was. Dang it. Well, we'll just go ahead and skip it. Go ahead and skip it then. But yeah, that wraps up the UTEP game. It'll be interesting to see how offensively and defensively we are against like a legitimate football team. No offense to UTEP, but they aren't very good. So yeah, kind of what you just said, Myers, in regards to a receiver rotation, that being applied to the whole football team, how we will be against some more legitimate competition will be interesting to see. But with all that said, let's move on to probably the reason why you clicked on this video, the Tech game. Texas travels out to Lubbock this weekend, all bearing that everything goes okay. I guess before, for all of these previews for the rest of the season, we got to keep in mind that by the time that this video comes out, some stuff might change, but hopefully not.
Yeah.
So yeah, playing Tech should be, it's an afternoon game, I believe. What, 2:30?
2:30, yeah.
Kickoff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt Myers, let me have you lead it off with Tech. What should we be looking out for on this team?
Yeah, Texas Tech, they're coming off a 2-point win against Houston Baptist. I went back and watched that game, though, and, I mean, they looked better than the scoreboard suggested. They got a lot of bad breaks, and the HBU offense was just really dynamic. I mean, they got some playmakers and like a really, really good quarterback. I think the quarterback, Bailey Zappi, would be like the third best quarterback in the Big 12. I'm not kidding. He's
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, he's got like pro scouts on him. He's really good. So, yeah, I mean, I think we definitely do not need to take Texas Tech lightly at all. They had 9 players out last week. I think that's a number like 9 or 10, some big number. And today their athletic department announced they have 0 currently quarantined or positive tests. So get a lot of guys back this weekend. But when you look at Texas Tech, it starts on offense. You know, Alan Bowman, he's a good quarterback. He's kind of been crippled by injuries, but he's healthy right now. He looked pretty good last weekend, and he's got some weapons on the outside to throw it to. He's got like a foursome of good receivers: Keyshawn Carter, T.J. Vasher, Jalen Polk, the freshman from Lufkin. He's going to be really good in the future, and Eric Uzakama. I don't know how it's pronounced, but they're really good players. I mean, Texas Tech always has good athletes that'll make you miss in space and have home run potential. So, I mean, T.J. Vasher, we've seen him before. He's 6'6", and he's a highlight. He's a mismatch. Like Deshaun Jameson on him, that's like a 7-inch mismatch. So
Yeah.
don't need to take these boys lightly. And then obviously Sir Roderick Thompson was arrested, but he's going to play. So
You know what the
Got bailed out of jail.
We
The
still don't
words
know-
of Jimmy Buffett, the tip jar paid his bail. That was the Texas Tech teacher. Yeah. Continue on.
what were you saying, Matt?
No, dude. I remember when it first came out, they said we don't know what the charges were. Do we still not know?
I haven't heard.
But he's
I
gonna
just know that
play.
he was arrested and that he's apparently gonna play.
He's gonna play. Hey, he's good. Hey, keep going forward. He's gonna play some ball.
Football player? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Let's go.
Yeah, but he's like one of the best players. 22 carries last
Yeah,
week,
he had a great game.
2 touchdowns over 100 yards. So I
Yeah.
mean,
They need him.
yeah, step up from the UTEP running backs that we saw. So, I mean, yeah, and then defensively, they got a good front seven, I think. I like their interior D-line, and they got some good linebackers. Rico Jeffers and Krishan Mayweather, probably their best players. And, I mean, their defense is not what it used to be where it was just, like, horrible. It's definitely improved, but their secondary is really bad, it looks like, again. So, I mean, there's a chance there to, just tear them up downfield. I mean, Houston Baptist laid 580 yards passing on them. So, I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
better, but not that much better, I guess.
So we should have a field day
yeah.
passing wise.
But, I mean, they're getting players back. I mean, Colin Schooler, Brendan Schooler's brother from Arizona, the linebacker at All Pac-12, he didn't play against Houston Baptist, but he'll be playing this week in Texas Tech, we think. And he's already projected starter. So, I mean, that's a big improvement in the front seven. So, I mean, they got some players. I wouldn't look too much into Houston Baptist game is what I'm saying. I think after this week, we'll be able to get a better pulse on Texas Tech. And that's how it's going to be all season. We're not going to really know a lot about teams till they suit up. So, I mean, I think we could see a whole different team on Saturday, and I'm sure they'll be more hyped up to play us than Houston Baptist.
I'm sure of it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny that we're finally going to see Bowman play.
It's been forever, yeah, right?
It's been forever, and he's always gotten hurt by the time that we – because we're so used to playing Tech at the end of the year. Yeah, that he would always get hurt by the time we played him. It was always Jet Duffy. Turnover City.
Yeah, that's my
guy. But, yeah, I mean, because everyone would always hype up Bowman. Apparently he's a pretty good passer, and, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see him against our secondary.
Yeah, that's what I'm most curious about this game is I feel like this is the first real test because it's going to be a more competent offense than UTEP, and it's going to be a more field-stretching offense than UTEP for sure. So I'm really curious to see how we're going to hold up. Yeah, the 18-point spread is kind of why I'm shaky on that because it's going to be a test for this new defense. But I'm positive or I'm confident they'll show out.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that spread? I think it's a little steep, personally.
I think it's a little high, in my opinion, or maybe I'm just too scarred from past spreads. But yeah, I think it's a little too high given the talent on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. In my final score prediction, I don't have us quite meeting the spread, but I do believe that all of us have Texas winning pretty favorably.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. On Texas's side of the ball, what do y'all – I guess we don't really know what to expect. I mean, because the UTEP game, I mean, Tom Herman literally said it in his press conference. He's like, yeah, that was a scrimmage. Like, he outright said it, apparently, that that was that. So we still have – I mean, we definitely have seen a little bit of Yursich's offense after a game, but I'm curious to see what it truly looks like in full form.
Did we have I don't know, maybe I don't remember. How many deep shots did we have? I don't think we had a ton, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I mean, not a lot of vertical.
Not a lot of vertical, for sure. But I was expecting for it just to be aired out, like even further, like shots. So I feel like that's still coming. So maybe it'll be this game.
Well, I also think that's kind of Yursich. I don't think Yursich is very. I don't think he does a ton of vertical, but I could be very wrong with that. So
I remember 2017 Oklahoma State. They were like just bomb squad, just chunk it downfield.
Okay, well then I'm way off.
Yeah, no, they're vertical. That's why I kind of like what Madrid.
I do know that they're very balanced though. Like they spread the field equally horizontally.
Yeah, that's true.
More so than we did, because I would say that our offense was very vertical last season, but we didn't have a horizontal game. I mean, we called plenty of bubble screens, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a legitimate horizontal game. It was all vertical. Duvernay and I guess Colin occasionally when he was healthy, and some Eagles. But yeah, I would say that we're definitely a lot more spread out now in this offense. Defensively, curious to see what happens there. Like we said, Thompson has the starting job. I believe BJ Foster is still second string coming off the bench, so we'll see what happened with him. In case y'all missed it, he temporarily quit the team, but the coaching staff got him back on. He's too talented of a guy.
Yeah, you can't let this guy go.
And also, like, even though he did this, and this will probably kind of tarnish his legacy at Texas for a while, I mean, he's still a pretty high character dude. So I think that the staff realized that and realized that, hey, it was just kind of hopefully it's a one-time thing. But
Well, I mean, we're talking about the guy that broke his hand from smashing a car and like, punching a car or whatever he did. So I think he gets a little frustrated sometimes, which is fine.
oh,
Fine.
that's right. I forgot that he did
Yeah, it was
that.
over the summer. I was reading that like, whoa, why? But
Oh, yeah.
But I guess he just gets frustrated. Yeah, he cares a lot. So
He has a temper.
yeah, the dog.
Oh, a lot of DBs do. Yeah. Anything else that we're missing on this Tech preview? What should we be looking for? Ingram is starting this game at running back, so that'll be an interesting development. Apparently, Tom says that starting jobs really aren't that big of a deal on this team, but I don't buy that. So, I mean, Ingram showed up pretty well in the last game. He was clearly running pretty hard, but I do think I preferred Roshan a little bit more in the past game.
This game, I think we'll definitely see blitzing. We didn't really see much blitzing at all against UTEP, and that's expected. I mean, Chris Ash doesn't want to show too much against UTEP. I mean, you don't even need to blitz against UTEP. But I want to see blitzes get home, get like more sacks this weekend, and just see the four-man rush like actually get more pressure than it did against UTEP.
Same.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see that. And I do think that we're going to get a little bit more of that, some more exotic stuff. Hopefully get home on the quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. If that is it for all of us, let's hop into score predictions. Madrid, how about you give yours first?
Okay. So like I said, I think that 18-point spread is a little too generous. And I think Texas Tech's offense can do more than enough to keep it interesting a little bit, but I think it ultimately will come down to a 38-24 or some kind of 30-20 score, and of course Texas on top.
Myers.
Yeah, I have us scoring a little bit more than that. I think we'll put up we'll be in the 40s. I have us at 49-27. So I do have us covering, but I mean, yeah, I'm pretty confident in this game. But like I said, Texas Tech, this is going to be a whole different team we see this Saturday, so definitely need to be aware. Hoping it's not going to be a close game in the fourth quarter, but I think this Texas Longhorn team is pretty experienced and locked in and extremely talented. So I think we'll be able to cover the spread narrowly, though. But I think we cover the spread.
For me, I have pretty similar to what Myers just gave. I have us winning 45-31, so not quite covering the spread. I do think that the 18-point spread is a little bit steep. I mean, it's Texas Tech. We're playing in Lubbock. I know that they don't really, the fan experience is going to be much different than what it typically would be, plus it being in the afternoon and not at night. So definitely won't be as crazy as past Texas Tech games on the road there. But nevertheless, Tech does get up. I mean, maybe not so much last season. That was a blowout. But in previous seasons, Tech always played us really hard. It is a rivalry, at least in their eyes. So I do expect them to compete and definitely put up some points. But I do think that, I mean, based off of this Houston Baptist game, that Sam should be able to feast on the secondary, and our wide receivers should be able to get a lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards out of them. I think that if we score under 40 points, something went wrong. Someone got hurt or something weird with the game happened. So I definitely am banking us to put up at least 40, and to Tech probably put up at least 30, because they got a pretty good offense too. But like we said, it'll be interesting to see with our defense how we hold up against a team that actually can, I don't know, get first downs, get touchdowns.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Unlike UTEP. Any final thoughts thoughts with that, you guys?
Mm,
Nah, let's just go tear it up. Let's go watch the
yeah,
whole.
man. Let's this is the first Big 12 test. Let's show out.
Yeah. Well, everyone, knock on wood. Make sure that this game happens, doesn't get canceled. Hopefully, we don't jinx it by saying that. But like we said, it's a long season ahead. We're going to encounter a lot of this. So we've got to continue to hold on and be vigilant. Well, cool. That wraps up this show. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe as always. Again, nice to have you back, Madrid, and have the whole team
Nice to be
here.
back.
Yeah, be on the lookout for more episodes as the season goes on, and hopefully we can deliver a good product to you guys.
Sure.
With all that said, y'all take care. Let's go beat Texas Tech on Saturday.
Sure.
Sure.